Hello, everyone! We made it to the finale!
I know.
Oh my gosh!
I should have looked back. How many weeks in a row has this been?
It's been impressive, to say
It
the least.
Yeah.
It's at least been like 6, maybe 7?
I don't know. It's impressive for us. Not to
Yeah,
mention we've doubled up some weeks as well. So, like
true. So we've just been steamrolling. Oh my gosh, it shows our
Well,
dedication to all y'all, because we are finally here, Sozin's Comet parts 3 and 4, the finale of the anime, and, well, I'll call it an anime anyway. Animation. It's amazing, and we have had the journey with all of you. We have Corey hopping in to say hi, all. Buggus, great to see you, once again. Marcus Aurelius, peace be upon you with Buggus and everyone. Uh, this is gonna be a fun one. Probably, we'll see if it's as unhinged. If Bogus shows up, it will be, I
yep.
assume.
Yep. We'll just give the stream over to them and yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just see where the bugs take us.
Yep, I trust them completely. Just like I trust you, Brandy, with episode descriptions. I know last week you said you summarized, was it chapters 18 and 19?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now you have the final summary,
I
which
sure
you
do.
win by default because Paramount only does one description for this entire thing. So,
Which is a disservice, really.
yeah, it really is. You should break it apart into the parts.
Yeah. All right, so here's what we have. Sozin Comet arrives. Oh, sorry. Let me start over. Sozin Comet arrives, bringing with it the fate of the world. Avatar Aang and Phoenix King Ozai come face to face for the first time, both seeking to end the 100-year war. Meanwhile, Azula challenges Zuko to an Agni Kai for the title of Fire Lord.
Beautiful. Love how you saved that one for the end too. That Agni Kai, man. Oh, we're gonna get into it. I have notes. Yeah, I
Yay!
have a lot of notes. It's fantastic. Nerdy Vikings popping in to say I had to be here for the finale. We are happy to have you, friend. And Rapunzel saying, "Hi all, I just signed up to dog sit Bark Ruffalo. Fingers crossed." Brandy, do you understand that reference?
I do not.
Oh, okay, so David Tennant and Michael Sheen, because I can't go a stream without talking about Good Omens. David was hosting the BAFTA Awards,
Mhm.
and his opening monologue had involved Michael Sheen, and basically him trying to dog sit Michael Sheen's dog, Bark Ruffalo, which apparently isn't even his dog. They got a celebrity stunt dog, but it was hilarious, and I will be sending you the clip.
Okay.
It's incredible. Just like this episode. And yes, to firmly put a stamp on it, Brandy, you are the unbeaten queen of episode descriptions. You have a streak of 3 seasons.
It
That's
wasn't
hard to
hard.
do.
It wasn't hard.
Well,
It was
the
mighty.
competition, it started to pick up a little bit towards the end, but you still gracefully destroyed them.
To quote Dr. Doofenshmirtz, winning by default is my favorite way to win.
Oh my gosh, yes. I have used that many a time in my life. Uh, it's the best way for sure. Oh, goodness. Well, everyone, we are hopping into our episodes. Remember, we talked about parts 1 and 2 before. So if you're just joining us now, you can go back to last week's stream because this week we are full steam ahead, continuing to discuss the descent into madness and the fights and the everything that happens in, well, what is it, 44 minutes roughly?
Just about, yep.
Oh, and it all starts with this one. Ugh, Zula.
What do you think of her downward spiral into madness?
You know, I watching this again, it's so very, I don't want to say chunky because that just sounds uncomfortable, but like it does clearly show the steps down the stairs into madness. So it starts out with the betrayal of Ty Lee and May.
Mhm.
for sure. That like she was doing fine up until then, and now every corner she goes around, she thinks someone's going to betray her, and the paranoia is just. But I think they handled it very well. What did you think?
I think that when it like, watching the finale for the first time, I don't think I fully, like, got it or understood it or appreciated it or anything like that. Like, I remember having this conversation with one of my sisters, and they were thinking that it was very good and they liked it a lot,
Mm.
and I was just like, "No, no." Like, that was
Really?
no, no.
Really?
No, I was like, I don't know, it didn't make any sense, and over the years as I've, like, continued to rewatch it and just, like, I don't know, it's still just for whatever reason, I don't know.
Do you is it like it happens too fast? It isn't
I don't
as
know if it
believable?
I don't know if it happens too fast, but there are aspects of it that I really like her seeing her mother, I think is really
Yes.
powerful, and I enjoy that, um, as, like, a way to tell a story, but I think it just happens too fast. Like,
Okay.
I think we should have saw more gradual things even before, like, May and Tylee, uh,
Mm.
betraying her, and, I mean, maybe we see that when in, like, her quest to, all throughout season 2, she's just constantly trying to, like, outdo herself or take another big step or not only, capture Iroh and Zuko, but take Ba Sing Se and, everything like that, and I
Yeah.
just feel like season 2 Azula, yeah, she's, like, unhinged, but you're just like, "Oh, well, to a degree, she's just very patriotic and believes
Mhm.
in the war and, everything that she's been, like, spoon-fed about the Fire Nation. She's never
Mhm.
questioned it." And then for most of season 3, you kinda still see that she's very, like, calculated and she's keeping an eye on Zuko because she thinks something might be up, and she's not about to take the fall for it.
Mhm.
And then I think at the beach, we kind of see a little bit of how uncertain she can be about certain things
Mhm.
with nobody really recognizing her or fearing her. So
Mhm.
then, once May and Tylee do betray her, it just I don't know. I would have
Mhm.
appreciated more steps. It just felt like they were getting to the
Hmm.
to the finale and the writers were like, "Oh, we made her very strong and very powerful."
Dial it back, dial it back.
And and now we need to figure out a way
Mhm.
for her to lose.
Mhm.
'Cause
I guess
yeah, I don't know.
the way I kind of watched it was, yeah, in season 2, you start to see this pressure building for her, and when May and Tylee eventually they leave, they aren't afraid of her, that's kinda like the big crack in the foundation. And so I guess I accepted the descent, the rapid descent into insanity a whole lot easier because it's like, I guess, yeah. If you have it building and then finally something blows, it's like, sure, carnage, why not? But yeah, a lot of episode 3 focuses on her, so I think that also attributes the like the rushed feeling because it was just pacing wise seems like it was all clumped together
Mhm.
pretty much. Also, we have to say hi to Time Prophet saying, "What's up? Is this a Star Wars stream?" You know what? That that edit you made was fantastic. Did you see that, Brandy?
No, was it on Twitter?
Oh,
No, I don't guys, listen, I
oh.
don't I don't get on the Twitter, okay?
You don't get on the Twitters.
I just don't do it, okay? I don't think about it. I don't
Oh, let me find it. Oh my gosh, I know it's here. There it is. There and boom.
Nice. Alright.
It was
I appreciate
fantastic.
this. I appreciate
I
this.
the hair
We
loopy
should
headphones.
we should 100%, go into Star Wars next.
Oh my gosh, yes. That'd be pretty epic. I agree. We also
Because
have
if
Louis
y'all think I
Exposé
can rant
Han.
about Avatar.
Oh yeah, just you wait. That might actually have to end up being a welcome to our cult at this point, because from what I've viewed of the fandom of some of the animated shows, it qualifies for that.
It does.
Rightfully so, too. The Nerdy Viking says maybe the creators realized Katara and Zuko couldn't handle the whole army. Yeah, I think they realized very quickly they couldn't handle the whole Azula. And they were just like, okay, we're gonna knock down her HP a little bit. There you go. Sorry, but we have to watch Star Wars chronologically. It makes it so much more sense that way. Okay. But you were saying, Brandy.
But yeah, no, like it really does just feel like they were like, oh, we're sending Zuko and Katara to the Fire Nation to battle Azula. We gotta get rid of all these things. We gotta get rid of her Dai Li agents. We gotta get rid of her the Royal Guard. We gotta get rid of, just like all these things. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. I understand it.
They were like, you know what? We're gonna get rid of Lo and Lee too. We're gonna clean the board.
We're not even firebenders.
Yeah, but I'm Lee. So which one is banished? Or wait, what are their names?
Lee and Lo.
Lee and Lo. Okay, I did get that right then. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second. There's a many Lee in the Fire Nation, as we know. So I wasn't quite sure. Oh gosh, Buggus. More streams to be evangelized on. All hail Buggus. If you watch the Star Wars prequel before Star Wars, it gives the game away. I'm pretty sure history has done that, and the internet too. I know everything about the prequels without even watching the prequel.
Yeah, I was gonna say Star Wars has reached like that level of pop culture where even though you've never seen a movie, you understand who certain people are.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep. Like, Vader, I know you.
yeah.
Which also reminds me, have you been to the Star Wars world at Disney World or Disneyland?
No.
Okay, I'm stealing my brother and literally kidnapping him and taking him to Florida so we can go to the Star Wars world thing. So I will come by and pick you up because you need to experience it just like he does, since you both are very much into it. It's epic. I rope dropped at Disneyland, and I was the only one on the Millennium Falcon ride. Hard to shoot things when you're also being the pilot and also operating the shield. So I need backup.
All right.
This time. I'm not losing that ride again. Remember in 1977, we didn't have the internet. True. Everything's spoiled now. Darth Vader translates from German as ... I don't know what it translates as.
Vader is father.
Ooh, Dark Father?
Yeah.
I'm assuming? Das ist gut. Let's see. Oh, Dark Father. Hey, look at that. It just goes to show what a 6-hour accidental couch nap will do for you on a Monday afternoon. It really does bring the brain cells back. I'm so glad I did that too. I needed to be on my game for this one. Especially given that Azula really isn't. Okay, the blue flame transition. I specifically wrote it down how it's just the contrast between her and Zuko initially in season 2, where it's like, oh yeah, she has blue fire, he has orange fire. It's an aesthetic thing. I'm so glad during this final Agni Kai and everything else that she has a different fire, because we get, not to ignore Aang's plot or anything, but we get some gorgeous shots.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Even though I don't like how we got there, I appreciate this fight.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly. It is maybe better than Aang versus Ozai.
You know what? I was going to ask you, what do you think about the two fights compared? Because there is one thing that does tip it in the favor for Aang for me, and I think it comes in the next episode. But it's when Ozai's bringing that fire slash in, and Aang just goes,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's
Where
such
he's
a
like
sick move.
where he's in the avatar state and he's just yeah, no. That
He
that's
pops up out
really
of the
good.
rock and grabs his goatee. He's like,
I was just
amazing.
about to say Buggus beat me to it. As kids, this is all that we would do is we would think about because in the early or the I guess the mid 2000s, that's what Gillette commercials were for this orange, yellow, and blue.
Really? I don't even remember this.
So we would just constantly be like, "Man, Gillette commercial."
I'm gonna have to look up these Gillette commercials then, because I did not remember that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this whole the color scheme for this
Well,
fight, the
that
shading.
and
Oh,
I was just listening to, these 2 episodes when I was at work, and just listening to it alone, like, you can still get so much of the emotion just from the music.
yes. I'm
And
so
I
glad you
think
brought
that
that up.
that's what elevates this fight for me compared to, like, Aang and Ozai's, is the music and how
Mhm,
emotional and a lot of times sometimes it's very quiet, and so all you hear are, like, just these intense fire blasts that just sound like
mhm.
torches, and you see a lot of, like, the surrounding city just starting to burn, and it's just I don't know, it's so like, you're just like,
Uh-huh. You're just, "Whoa." Like, this is the same show that gives us I mean, Secret Tunnel
Mhm,
and all this, and then you have these phenomenally drawn battle scenes. And as you mentioned with the music, I made a specific note because I wanted to make sure I got this right. With Zuko and Ozai, or Zuko and Azula versus Aang and Ozai. For Aang and Ozai's battle, it's very like horror movie-esque. There's that one point where it's like ding 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 ding, like,
mhm,
which also chills, freaked me out, but it still does to this day. But with Azula and Zuko, it's more it's sorrowful
mhm,
when you listen. It's full of very sorrowful emotion, is
mhm.
what I got from that. Almost like it's sad that this is happening because they are siblings.
Well, that and I think like, the imagery of, like, the surrounding city burning, for whatever reason, this time I was really thinking about it, and, like, depending on who wins, really depends on how the Fire Nation and its legacy is going to continue after this. Because if Zuko loses and Azula becomes the Fire Lord, then the war isn't necessarily over. Like, Ozai can be defeated, but the people of the Fire Nation are still going to be under this tyranny that they've been under for 100 years.
Mhm.
Whereas, and as we see, like when Zuko wins, then they kind of get to heal and they are
Mhm.
kind of forgiven.
Mhm.
And, maybe not all of them, but like he really does just like usher in this era of like peace and healing and forgiveness.
Mhm.
And I think that that's what makes this one emotional again because it's not so much like ending the war or anything like that. It's more so like a line in the sand is going to be drawn and
Mhm.
the last 100 years like we're just going to move on and we're not
Mhm.
going to drag this out. And
Yes,
it
yeah.
takes time, it takes years um you know for everything to kind of come back into balance. But if Azula won this, it it wouldn't have been as good. Like, it would've
No,
just
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, and another thing that I just realized looking at this picture, yes, it's Sozin's Comet, but how evenly matched they are.
Mhm,
Because all through the time that we've known Azula for books book 2 and most of book 3. It's like she's the powerful firebender. Zuko's always been behind her. And now he's caught up.
Mhm.
He knows the true meaning of firebending. He's got that emotional support behind his fire now. Whereas Azula, she's unhinged as heck. So her fire is emotionally fueled as well, but for the wrong reason. So you get such a good dynamic there of the forcing behind their fire. And that
Mhm.
ties into the overall story, as you mentioned, where this is the line in the sand that Zuko needs to draw. So, so good. So good. Time Prophet also says in the movie she's starring Ursula Andress, there was a life-giving fire which was blue, but then it turned to a yellow and actually burned. Interesting. And aged the queen. If I saw a firebender, I would definitely want to be behind. Yeah. Yeah, Katara, this entire battle is just like, I am glad I have the water. Whoop, let me just put out this fire on my blast. Yep, there we go. Because it decently wrecks the palace
It
from
does.
what like from that faraway shot. I couldn't find a good enough clip of it. I think the best I could get was like one of these, yeah, where it's like everything else is just kind of collateral damage. Also convenient that they have some water there. Just saying. Uh Marcus really says, do you think that there's any significance to blue fire being the hottest? I definitely think it's just like because she fights with rage and that burns a little bit hotter for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've talked about a lot of theories about why Azula's fire is the way that it is. And for me, like the top one is Azula is a perfectionist, and so she's kind of like crafted like a perfect flame that doesn't
Mhm.
lose heat easily, or and so it's very intense and burns very pure.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, and I also really like the like, we were kind of talking about it earlier, but the whole throne room is blue because even like the lights on the pillars, like she lit them. It's not somebody
Yes.
else's. And I was like, "Oh man, like that's very interesting because a lot of times like I think we all very well understood that the wall in front of the throne was their fire that they lit, but to have like the light
Yeah.
on the pillow, I don't know. I just
It's
like
like,
it.
I will control everything. That is
Yeah.
a minor detail that I passed up on.
Mhm.
Yep. Classic micromanager. Be the Bug says, I stand by the Azula is so salty she just burns blue. Yep.
There's
Yeah.
that too. There's that too.
Yeah. Actually, a Bunsen burner burns with a blue flame. There you go. So well, I should have brought Mr. Hansen on. He was my high school chemistry teacher, and he would totally be down for analyzing her flame. He's also a Doctor Who fan, so it would get very Whovian very quickly. Uh,
More so
and
than
I don't
usual.
so much more so than usual. Oh, you have no idea. Uh, but just to finish up the discussion of Azula and her being insane. Oh my gosh, I did have the picture this whole time. It was hiding. Okay, well, yeah, that's a good quadrant of the Capitol Palace and also a lake. Ooh. Hmm. So Katara totally could just freeze the entire town. Good to know.
Yeah.
Uh, but yes, we do get to see the final, I don't want to say desperate act of Azula, but it does feel that way. She knows she can't beat Zuko. He has his lightning redirection ability. And so she decides to go for Katara, which low blow, dude. Low blow. You don't bring her into this. This actually shocked me as a kid. But I I knew they somehow had to get Katara involved, but my brain wasn't developed enough to figure out how. And I love that Zuko had to sacrifice himself for Katara in this scene. It just
Mhm.
I don't know, it resonates as such a good story arc for him coming to a tie that finally he was trying to kill them. Well, not kill them. I think he wouldn't have had any problem if he killed them on his way to Aang, but now he's given himself up for her, and that's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and, like, I don't think that there's just any time to, like, really fully think about what's gonna happen next or to, like, try and analyze this finale as you're watching it for the first time because it's just
Yeah.
everything happens just like so quickly, and you're just
Mhm.
like, "What? What's next? What? What's next? What?"
These 2 episodes are like hyperventilating.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, like, and I think what's even worse is that Zuko taunts Azula
Yeah.
and is like, "What? Like, no lightning?" Because like I think they can both kind of tell. Either Zuko can tell that she's just kind of playing along and isn't 100% into it, or like it's just like they're kind
Uh,
of sparring. Like nobody's really gaining any traction. They're both
right.
just kind of sparring. And then like he takes that beat to be like, "Oh what? No no lightning
Like
today, Azula?
today.
Afraid I'll redirect it?" And she's just like,
Oh, I'll show
"Let's
you
go."
lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, at the last moment aims it at Katara, and because yeah, like, it makes no sense for her to fire it at Zuko, but she will most definitely take an easy shot,
Mhm.
and
Now,
yeah.
do you think that she took it because it was the easy shot or because she was afraid Zuko would redirect it? Because like, historically, she doesn't have much faith in Zuko as a as a fighter. So
I think that she knows that he can do it because he redirects lightning at Ozai,
true.
so I
He
think
probably would
that
have told her that too. He would have
yeah,
been like,
yeah,
"You need to
so
watch out."
no, not so much that, but, just, oh, what happened? Well,
He
so
leveled up.
I think she 100% knows, and it's a stupid move to do it.
Yeah.
And so I don't think she's that cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs just yet. Um,
Cuckoo for Zuzu Puffs.
yeah. So
Low hanging fruit, but I had to go there.
is the shot at Katara. And she knows that Zuko is kind of like a softie and will do what it takes to protect somebody.
Mhm. Well,
So, yeah.
in analyzing that moment, it's like it's a victory either way. Either Zuko takes a shot or he knocks out Katara or she knocks out Katara and he's distraught over that. So
Mhm.
it does seem like a pretty solid decision on her part. As much as I hate to say it, that was a good choice.
Yeah. And I think also in Azula's mind, Katara isn't a threat.
Mm, yeah. She's just a water nation,
Yeah,
like,
she's just a
once.
peasant. Like,
Yeah.
like she's just not a threat.
That reminds me. Have I ever told you the time that a French person referred to me as a peasant?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. So, sidetrack. We
Let's
can't have our
go.
finale without a sidetrack. But yeah, uh, basically, we were in France and we were in some of the fancy frou-frou shops in
Mhm,
Paris. And there was this one woman who came in, and we were just kind of looking. We looked like tourists. We looked like Americans. And one of the I can't remember exactly what it was, but they were like, "Oh, we don't have this at our store, but you can go and find it at another or something." And she's like, "You want me to go out there with the peasants?" And I'm just like, "I'm right here." So that was fantastic. That's how I imagine Azula would act too. Let's see. Azula equals Bunsen burner. Absolutely. Also, even though water can put out the fire. Yeah. Yep. She does not she does not respect water enough. And she learns that lesson very quickly.
well, that and, like, she's also Azula's kind of supercharged right now from the comet,
Mhm.
so
True.
yeah.
I do have a question for you though.
Mhm.
Do you think Katara has the ability to redirect lightning? Because I was considering that. I know it sounds weird, but I have notes. I have
Okay,
notes.
go for it,
Uh,
go for it, go for it.
but since Iroh got the idea for this from the waterbenders, and lightning is just energy rather than fire. Do you think that if she could control the energy within herself, she could redirect it? Because the more I thought about it last night and got insomnia for it, the more I realized I was like, what if that's a universal thing that any bender can do because they have control over the energy in their bodies?
I don't think so because I think like firebending in itself is really just controlling energy
Okay.
because they can produce their own element.
Right.
So,
Hear that, M. Night Shyamalan?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I think I th- I think that they can just almost kind of like condense the energy, and then that's like what maybe
Oh,
produces the flame and produces um lightning, and that it's such a condensed form of it that even though yes, like and we even learn in this episode that like bending comes from the energy and the avatar can bend energy. Um I don't think that that necessarily means that all benders can do it.
okay.
So like could she on a small form maybe take like a little spark and redirect it? Possibly. But I think because lightning, it's such a magnitude of energy that she wouldn't know how to direct it, and like her guitar's abilities to waterbend wouldn't necessarily
Like, translate?
translate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good points. Also, I have to point out, Buggus says all who follow shall not be peasants, but rather royalty. Rapunzel, absolutely right. Wear that crown. Buggus agrees. And yes, Time Prophet, both water and fire can easily be destructive. True. So, yeah, it really doesn't matter. You got lightning. She's got snow. Snow could totally
Snow.
suffocate. Snow. Yeah, that people forget snow can suffocate. So, just like the airbenders, it's bending elements is horrifying.
It
The
is.
more you look into it.
It really is.
Oh gosh. But yes, we get to see the Agni Kai. We get kind of let at the end left with Zuko taking the lightning shot for Katara. And Katara's just what just happened? Reaction.
Well,
Which
and like her reaction is just to like get to Zuko and save
mhm,
Zuko because she knows what Azula's lightning can do. Like
mhm.
it killed Aang. And so
True.
like in this moment, she's having like this like flashback of like, oh,
Yeah.
it's happened again. And she
Gosh
doesn't have spirit
dang
water this time. So she's probably just like, if I'm gonna be able to do anything, I need to get to him now. And like she's
it.
not even thinking about Azula and what really, is gonna happen there. Like she's just trying to get to Zuko and Azula takes a shot and is like, whoa, I'd really rather the family physician look after Zuzu if you don't mind.
Such a savage line, too.
Zuzu, you don't look so well.
Whoosh. Oh my gosh. The she's terrifying in this episode. I'd say more so than Ozai, for me at least. Just because of how she has like the psychotic element with her. But
Mhm.
also Rapunzel says each elemental bender has a different chi pathways open to flow. I think that's chi,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yay. Lightning energy can only flow along certain pathways, so it's possible for firebenders only. I just made that up, but it sounds good. I was gonna say that sounds actually really good. So congratulations, you just wrote a fan theory.
Stamp of approval.
Yay! But we had that battle brewing, and then we get to the main battle. We have Zuko and Katara off on their own. We have Ozai taking on Aang, and then we have the magnificent trio of Suki, Sokka, and Toph. I don't know whose side of the story I like better, but I'll tell you one thing. Look at this man.
Oh,
He has finally
he's got
blossomed fully. Oh my gosh, this episode, I couldn't find the screen grab of it when Suki's just like, okay, and then what? He goes, I'll let you know when we get there or something. And then he gives her that kiss and then that little wiry smile. I'm like, I'm a sucker for boys who have, or guys who have that wiry smile.
it. No.
Just like Flynn Rider from Rapunzel is a fantastic example.
The smolder.
Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap. Like I could go on for days. David Tennant as the Doctor. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see him get confidence and still be able to think rationally, which isn't always the easiest thing to do when you're under pressure. Rapunzel says, my first brandy stamp. Yay. Is that a taco? I appreciate the inclusion of a taco emoji.
Well, it's not a party unless there's a taco.
That is true. Marcus Aurelius says Toph doesn't look so confident. True. And that's something with this episode. We actually kind of see some of her vulnerabilities, particularly in the next part when she's holding on to Sokka and she starts to tear up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she really is starting to show some more emotions, which I feel shows growth for her, because for her, emotion was like a sign of weakness. She had to be tough. Didn't want to be the little girl. And so now she feels confident enough, and she's under enough strain that she's like able to show that emotion, which for me comes to a peak at this point.
Just yeah, because like she really can't see much of anything.
Mm-mm.
Like she can only really see, I suppose, the metal parts of the airship that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've already, like, they got rid of all of the crew. Like,
successfully.
And humanely. And like, they're just, I think in this moment, usually they're on the ground and she's able to just, take out half a battalion by herself. But after like her, like knocking on the door and then like metal bending like the suit around her and just taking out like, the 10 guys that are in that small space, like they're just, if everything's going according to Sokka's plan, there's not a whole lot for her to do. And so I think that yes, she trusts Sokka and everything like that, but she's probably feeling very helpless. And I think that is a feeling that Toph doesn't like.
Yep. She's used to being the bulldozer, the battering ram, the person who can take on these heavy hitters. And now she's like, I can't. There's nothing left for me to do here. I can't see outside of this ship. And to have this realization in this scene, she's like, whoa, that's a lot of fire, isn't it? It's like that really does hit her where she's like, I'm above this, like, oh, I'm trapped in this airship. I can't.
Well, that and like it's a lot of fire. So now in her head, she's thinking about, her nation and her home and maybe where her parents are and how bad is this going to get if they don't stop it. And,
Yeah, because when she's fighting firebenders, of course, you can feel the fire and everything, but you can't necessarily sense it with her earthbending. You sense which direction they're going to attack from, and that's how it allows her to keep fighting. But feeling that fire from a normal blast to this, it's like, oh, that's what they meant by Sozin's Comet makes it way worse. Like, holy cow!
Not to mention they're above the ground quite a ways.
Yeah, and you can still feel it. Nice addition too. I like how they don't forget that the window's broken behind her, and so there's still like wind blowing her hair around and everything. It's the little details that are so important when it comes to these kinds of scenes. Yeah, the three of them, Sokka, Toph, and Suki, I love seeing them work together in this particular episode because you have Toph being a little like sassy with
Mhm.
Sokka, and they find ways to interject humor into a very serious episode.
Yeah.
He's like, "Quick, you grab the wheel." Yeah, good idea. Let the blind girl steer the ship. It's like I was talking to Suki.
And what I really love too is that like so they get on this first ship and then they, take over the ship. And all while they're doing that, they're still just trying to catch up with Ozai's warship. Cause in their like in this moment, they're like, we're gonna stop the
Yeah.
Fire Lord. Like, we only brought one vendor. Granted, it's probably the only one they need, but they only brought one vendor. Suki doesn't have her fans. Sokka's only got his boomerang and space sword. Like,
That's a little patchwork crew they got.
yeah, and they're just like, "Yep, we're gonna do it," and you know, they don't catch up to him in time. And they're like, "Well, now what?" And then thankfully Aang shows up, and then Sokka's very easily able to redirect what they should do.
Mhm.
Um, but while they're taking over this first, airship, they're just like, "Yep, we're we're gonna go stop the Fire Lord."
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, guys. I appreciate the ambition. Really do here.
Mhm.
Actually, if you think about it, all Toph would need to do is get close enough, probably on the same ship as Ozai, and then just metal bend around his body, but not leave air hole gaps. And then, boom, he's already in a tomb. You just open up a pit in the earth, you plop him down, end of the war.
There we go.
It wouldn't be a Nickelodeon PC kind of version, but hey, it could work. Yeah. No, and then we get them trying to stop Ozai, but in reality, you aren't gonna do that because this dude is just too insanely powered up. Like, jeez.
Yeah, and I was I don't know where I saw it. It might have been like the fan group that we're a part of,
Yeah.
but someone had like drawn like this thought. So Iroh, when they're taking bossing, say he takes like 6 or 7 deep breaths to produce like that flame, that like ring of flame around the earth that they like use to like punch into bossing. Say Ozai in this instant only took 1 breath and produced that.
Dude's on some performance enhancers, I think.
Yes. And so I think that in the fandom, there's a lot of back and forth over who's the most uh, powerful firebender. And then people are like, oh, it's Ozai. No, it's Azula. I don't think Zuko's ever in the running, but you know.
No, he's not.
And I think the creators have blatantly been like, yeah, Ozai is the most powerful and, has been the most
Ooh.
powerful in like, generations. And people are just, they do not accept that. And then I saw that somewhere online, like in the past week or so. And I was like, huh,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, he really is just and like yeah, like he's souped up on the Comet, but so was Iroh.
True. The way I guess I've equivalated it in my brain is Iroh is older
Mhm.
and he's a little bit like he has to warm up. Like he does it the proper way. He's easing into it and then whoosh. Whereas Ozai's like the 17-year-old kid on protein powder in the gym at 4 in the morning going, I get this, bro.
I
Like
suppose.
he doesn't warm up. He's just like, I don't care if I rip my muscles out of my body. Let me do this.
Yeah, and I think Iroh, kinda like what you said, he's controlling it more. Like, there's more
Mm,
finesse with Iroh, whereas Ozai just
mm.
doesn't care. So he
Well,
just
he doesn't have to have finesse. He's just burning everything.
yeah.
Ah, yes. To have a complete carefree view of fire. like most children who play with matches. Uh, also, yes, Tom Baker with as a doctor. Also a very good doctor. Does anyone want a Jelly Baby? Have you had Jelly Babies, Brandy?
I don't know what they are.
Okay, so they sell them at Meijer in the international section.
I don't have a
For
Meyer.
you don't have a Meijer?
I don't have a Meyer.
They don't have a Meijer?
We don't have a Meyer.
What?
Listen, I complain about this to Brianna on the weekly.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so Time Profit Meijer is our version of like your grocery store. It's like Walmart, but better.
It really is.
And
It
cleaner.
is a perfect balance between Walmart and Target.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of feeling like you're like a snob or overly bougie at Target, but
Mhm.
you don't like how dark Walmart is, go to a Meijer.
Yes. It's nice. They have crisp aisles
It
and
is heaven on earth.
it's
The
fantastic.
aisles are wide.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Lighting is really great.
The bakery. And to give you an idea, there's some cars that's the size of the
The
store, and even that's a
selection
small
is
fire.
fantastic, like their international section,
Oh yeah.
fantastic, and, I live in Indiana. We're all pretty white here.
Yeah.
Not unless, live in a major city, then, but when I lived in Terre Haute, we had a Meijer, which meant I could get certain things I was acquired to.
Oh no. Dude, even Buggus agrees Meyer is goated. It has the blessing of Buggus.
Mhm.
You're pronouncing Target incorrectly. Target.
Yes, it
There,
is
Target.
Target.
When I was living out in Sioux City, we had a Walmart, we had a Target, and then we had a Fleet Farm.
What?
Which, yeah, Fleet Farm. You took a Bass Pro Shops and made it into a Walmart style place, and that was it. Like it was
That's amazing.
just insanity. There were groceries, there were like bow and arrows, there was a farm equipment. You could buy a horse stall. Like it was Sioux City. Meyer, low standards, higher prices. Oh, Marcus Aurelius. It depends on the Meyer you go to. I will say
Probably.
some Meyers are like
Probably.
mine aren't that great, but there are some. Charlotte, Michigan. Shout out to your Meyer. Y'all keep it stocked and pretty, and you have amazing cakes. Holy cow! What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Jelly babies. Yeah, go try a jelly baby. It's like really take gelatin and dehydrate it. It's very gummy and strange texture, and it's covered in cornstarch. So it's just
Hmm.
yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
Meyer is the real God's country.
Sure is. I might have to drive to Meyer this weekend
Yes. Oh, do it.
just
Do
to
it.
feel alive.
Now, do you think it would make you feel as alive as, say, Ozai in this instance? Is that this is about what it feels like to walk into a Meyer, everyone?
No, this is how I feel when I walk into a Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm like, this again.
Oh gosh. Oh, there you go. And Sonic. You cannot forget. Do you at least have a Sonic?
We do not.
Oh my
We do
gosh.
not. Listen, Katie, I live in a hellhole. Devout of any happiness.
Sioux City had a Sonic. How do you not have a Sonic?
It's
It's a college town. Man, they need to step up their game. Oh my gosh, let's see. I have I have two sonic screwdrivers, but I gotta send them back because they don't open doors. Do they make sonics ices, slushies, whatever you call them? Because if they don't do that, then they're useless. You'd be overpowered in a Walmart. It's true. Some Walmarts are good. Petoskey, Michigan, good Walmart. Battle Creek, Michigan. But yeah, does make your money go farther, so you might have that power of Ozai here. This dude, also, I just have to point out, he's getting this hyped about killing an 11-year-old. It's
I
like,
know.
dude, pull it in a little bit. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
it's like jumping ahead a bit, but when Aang, I would say for the first half of this battle, losing.
Oh yeah. Oh, completely.
Completely losing. So like when he's in like that sphere of rock and Ozai's just bashing it, and he's just like, like just like your people, you're going to die, and you're so weak, and you're like he's just like and you're just like
I saved this sticky note. Prepare to die. I'm just like,
I would
yo.
like to reiterate the statement that I made last week. Ozai just wanted to be a theater kid, and nobody let him in.
Nobody cast
He
him.
kept being cast as tree number 3, and he took that to heart.
Oh my gosh, yes. The dramatics, the Mark Hamill in this episode. We This is the most we've heard him talk
Mhm.
the entire. You don't actually get a lot of vocals from Mark Hamill until you get to the finale. But the oomph he puts into it. Just the so they prepare to join your people, prepare to die. Like the inflection, it's like he's ripping out his vocal cords while saying it. It's just pretty impressive. Also, wait, you know where I'm going with this one, Brandy.
Unfortunately.
All warriors go shirtless, except Xeno. Yeah, true. Let's see. The in-universe reason is because of muscles. Yeah, that maybe it's the performance enhancers. It's just kind of made him cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs again.
Mhm.
Runs in the family. Is there an in-universe reason why he had to take his shirt off for the battle? Nips?
Yeah.
Hey, you're moving around that much, it's probably gonna chafe, so you might as well go shirtless.
I mean, I think most Agni Kais are fought shirtless.
Meh. It makes
Um,
sense not to have, like, cotton draped
yeah,
across
plus,
you.
like, he was in robes, so he would and, like, I think when he's taking it off, he also just lights it on fire.
He's just like,
So
laundry from
dramatic,
at least he doesn't litter. You can't call him a litter bug.
I guess, but the pollution alone, their ozone layer has years taken off of its life now.
I imagine, part of me actually was thinking back to Heibai in this because of the forest being burned.
Mhm.
I imagine if Heibai was watching this from the top of a cliff, he'd just be like, eh, actually, do you know the sad hamster meme that's going around right now?
There's another one?
Okay, yeah. Let me find it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the sad hamster has just taken over along with Jeremy Jordan singing my TikTok feed. Uh it's basically this pathetic looking little saddest hamster ever. Where even is it? I have liked like
I think I
20 of
found it.
these videos.
It doesn't have really big eyes.
There it is. Yeah, it's a meteorologist did one.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't even know where I was going with that, but someone looks like sad hamster. That's Heibai. Heibai is in the corner.
Okay, my sense. Like,
Not good to make the spirits cry. But yeah, the first part of the battle, Aang is losing hardcore. And it's kind of sad for me because I was rooting for Aang to just be like, take the shot, beat him, and then he has the chance. He's literally at his fingertips, and he goes, "Nah." Do you
well, this
think?
moment
Oh,
this
go ahead.
moment is really big because the only person that Ozai know that can do this is Zuko.
Mhm.
And so in this moment when he shoots the lightning at Aang and Aang starts to redirect it, he knows that Zuko got to the Avatar.
Mhm.
And he knows that Zuko trained him.
Mhm.
And so, like, I like to think in this moment, he's like, "Ah, I should have ended that kid when he was like
Yeah.
16, like 3 years ago. Would have been over.
The Emperor's entire
Like,
head.
Osprey, I bet you wonder how I got here.
Literally though. Oh my gosh, yeah. The look on his face was just like it's the look of crap. This
Yeah.
is coming back to bite me. And also, some of a gun he got him too.
Yeah. And Aang
Um,
even, like, has it, like, pointed at Ozai, and Ozai knows that, like, yes, um, when Zuko redirected, um, the lightning at him, he kinda, like, missed and, like, aimed it at the ground or whatever, and but, like, that was just normal lightning. This isn't normal lightning. This is lightning produced with a comet.
yeah,
So, like, Ozai's like, "This is it.
I'm done.
We're And I also, like, he's probably like, "I'm gonna be remembered, uh, for history as the guy that got defeated by his own lightning bolt."
Yeah.
And
What a
that
fitting end.
that doesn't work for Ozai.
He's like, no, no, I'm not gonna go down this way. Yeah, because also I see part of me if the lion turtle hadn't have talked to Aang, I feel like it might have ended there.
I don't know.
Like it still would have been a conflict of his like morals and stuff for Aang, but at the same time, you know, this might be his only shot if he was on his back heel. He didn't have a plan going forward.
Mhm.
I could maybe see him try it. Also, nerdy Viking. What if during this fight you just hear in the background
Cabbages.
burned his cabbage patch?
I don't know. I've never really thought about what would happen if the lion turtle never talked to Aang. Because I think I don't know. I don't think Aang would have taken the shot.
Mm.
Because I think in that moment, like, it's so, like, reaction based. And I think it
Mm.
also happens early enough in the battle that Aang probably still believes that he can still do it.
Hmm. Yeah, true. He's not quite as beat up. He still has his clothes on, right? They
Yeah.
aren't like totally burned up. Yeah, once the shirt gets burned, okay, take off the gloves. Yeah, well, I would say Aang is a better, more controlled bender than me because if this is what I was seeing coming towards me, nope, zip zap zop. There's actually, oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been obsessed with Has Been Hotel for like the last 2 weeks.
Mhm.
There's a scene, spoiler alert, where one character is about to go and take out another character, and he just goes in this giant airship that looks exactly like this, and the character's just by himself, and he just goes "Zoop," and zaps him out of existence. He's like, that could have been bad. And could have just been like, whoosh, well, that could have been
Bye.
bad. Not my cabbage patch. Nope, that went too far. Yeah, that dude would have gone. He would have beaten Ozai by himself. I think if he found his cabbage patch and burned it. Don't mess with the old cabbage merchant, or
Nope.
just old people in general, because we still have the chunk of this story that involves the White Lotus, and we flop between the major battles here. Everyone's having a battle. Why not?
Mhm.
But I saw this comment and I really liked it. Is yes, yes, we all love seeing teenage kids take on oppressive governments and young adult stories, but I'm here for the old men who refuse to be products of their time and use their wisdom and influence to fight for the good, fight the good fight. Can we get that in our world? Can we maybe not cartoon, please? Because it is cool. You get to see the masters taking on this battle and fighting for the people who don't really have the ability to fight.
Mhm.
In particular, you have 2 firebenders who are like maxed out, level
Yeah.
100 Pokemon. You have Piandao who's like, okay, I'll just use my sword. You have Paku who's like, okay, I'm a little bit less strong. And then you have Boomy who's like, I'm crazy no matter what day of the week.
Try me.
What a great combo. And they don't spend a lot of time focusing on them and their fights. But what we do get is like, it's really good and visual.
Mhm.
I appreciate that they spent the time to show that, yeah, no, it's not just about the kids. Like, they're taking a stand too.
Yeah.
Which gives us that overall moral of it's never too late to do the right thing.
No.
Mhm.
And, it's never too late to, do the things.
Do the things.
Do the
Yeah.
things.
His great secret was he wasn't really crazy. He just made everyone else think he was crazy. That's kind of what I do, really. It's like, nah, yeah, I'm crazy.
She's harmless.
Yeah, mostly. Keyword there being mostly. You give me some flamethrowers and I might have something else to show for that. But oh goodness. Okay. So we got the White Lotus. They're fighting in Ba Sing Se. It almost felt like that battle was the breather for me from the main battle.
Yeah. And I think it was also really cool to see different bending techniques. Like Jean
Yes.
and his like little jets that he sustains for a very long time. And
Yes.
then even Paku, like his level of water bending, and like I don't think it necessarily is at night, so it's not like the moon is out
Mhm.
either. Like Paku's just out here being like, Comet. Um,
Try me, man.
and we even see, quick like little things of Piandao and the non-benders representing and everything like that, and
Mhm.
Boomy being Boomy. And then it kind of ends with like this silent moment of Iroh just standing at the palace and just burning the Fire
Mhm.
Nation flag and just being like,
Mhm.
all right, like he's very at peace.
Yes. Yep. It really is nice to see him get that redemption arc.
Yeah.
Like
And
for
like
himself.
um he doesn't even mm, like he doesn't know what's going on in the other part of the world, and it doesn't
Mhm.
even matter a whole lot to him. Like he's
Nah.
just kind of like, this is what I can control and this is how I can change the world, and that's like
Mhm.
enough for him.
And that is a thing that a lot of people need to learn is you don't have to solve the entire world's problems. Just make your portion of it better. And if
Mhm.
everyone does that, then you'll end up having a better place. That also reminds me of the meme. Can't remember. Oh gosh, I think this was back when we were learning about it was in the flashbacks where Iroh was writing to Zuko and Azula. It was like, "Oh yes, we're taking Ba Sing Se, haha." But like, replace the Earthbender with a Firebender, and the story's still the same. that that sums up the Ba Sing Se battle right there.
It really does.
Oh golly, but yeah, that battle, it's not like weak by any means, but it's not my
Mhm.
favorite of this episode.
I think what's really great about it is the other battles that are taking place are really narrowed, and this one's
Mhm,
just kind of broad. And so I think like
mhm,
the emotional stakes, like, are they there? yes, but like you said, it does just kind of give you a breather and kind of slows the pace of
Mhm,
the other battles that were cutting in between pretty
mhm.
quickly. And it's just like
Yeah.
intense, 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 intense. And then you just have like, oh, well, let's go see what the old people are up to. And they're just like playing shuffleboard or something.
Exactly. They're just casually taking back the biggest city in the Earth Kingdom. It's fine, nothing to see here.
No big deal.
But it does, it feels a little bit lower stakes for me because they aren't facing off with anyone who's, like, of their caliber. It's like taking a level 50 Pokemon to a level 10 gym. It just you're gonna steamroll through. It's still cool to see, but it's not quite like, say, this scene where you have Sokka and Toph, which this scene makes me feel.
It does. Yeah, it
He's
does.
trying to protect her so much, and he
He
knows,
is.
like, she can handle herself. This is just his brother, this is him being a brother coming out,
Mhm.
in my eyes.
It is. And I don't think he and I also think like in this moment, Toph is again just genuinely scared. Like she just
Yeah.
cannot see well.
Mhm,
She's really just taken out of her arena and,
mhm,
and relying heavily on Sokka, and she knows that Sokka's gonna be there and he's just
mhm,
doing everything that he can and is almost
mm,
like to the point of he's like, it doesn't matter what happens to me so long as she's safe.
mhm. Well, and how much character growth has it taken for Toph to get to that point where she's willing to accept someone else's assistance? Like,
Mhm,
even back when it was the blind bandit, she's like, I can do this by myself, sort of a
mhm.
thing. And now she's allowing Sokka to help her. We've seen Katara when Zuko tackled her out of the way of this rocket. She's like, okay, you can get off me now, sort of thing. She's just like, okay, yep, please, thank you.
Yeah. Uh, I think it comes down to like a level of trust because I think early on for Toph, it was more so people just seeing that she's blind and think that she needs help. And
Mhm,
so over the course of the short time that they've had Toph, um, and she's been a part of the team, they know how capable she is. And so in this
mhm,
instance, it's not so much like, oh, you know, she's blind, she can't see. It's just this is just Sokka being Sokka. And I think that she
mhm,
understands that.
mhm,
And he knows that she's not helpless and she can take care of himself, take care of herself. Um, but that's just what Sokka does. Like
mhm.
he's just that kind of level of protector. And I
He's
think
instinct.
yeah, and I think that in this moment she's willing to be like, "Yeah, you know what? I do need help."
Yep.
And it's okay.
Mhm. Mhm. It's nice to see that. It when you get to season 3, you do wonder, like, how much more can we dive into these characters?
Mhm.
It's more about the story than the character building, but they found a way to work around that. And also, when we get to this point where they're literally hanging on for their lives, and you see her start to cry.
Yeah,
Ugh,
'cause at this point can't see anything. She's
nope.
dangling, however many feet up in the air, and
Mhm,
like the only thing that she has is her like, the single hand on Sokka. She doesn't know really what his position is. She just knows
mhm,
that it's bad. And he's like, oh, buy space sword. Like she can only hear like these certain things. Buy space
mhm.
sword. I don't think Boomerang's coming back,
That
Toph.
top
And
oh my gosh, that line wrecks me every
yeah,
time.
and like
Oh.
they just like slammed an airship into another airship, so the airships are going down, and it
Mhm.
just it makes me tear bend.
Rapunzel seems to agree. Oh, that and then there was one moment on this rewatch in particular that I noticed when Suki comes flying in to save their butts,
Mhm.
which also, like, yes! But Sokka drops Toph. He's like, he knows that there's an airship under her and
Mhm.
they're gonna land. I don't think he communicates that with Toph. So there might have been like a brief period where she might have thought,
Maybe
what?
so. I don't know,
Like,
like
that's
there's,
terrifying.
like, this jolt, and Sokka's kinda happy, and Toph's like, "Oh, did Boomerang come back?" And he's like, "No! Suki!" So, yeah, I never thought of that. That is
Yeah.
huh.
Because she has no visual reference of like, where's her ship? Am I gonna land on it? I
Mhm.
assume Sokka, she would have probably heard Sokka go, "Ta!" as she starts to
Yeah.
fall, but still, like, as someone who had anxiety and still to a degree does, that
Mhm.
would have been absolutely terrifying to not be able to see it. Also, Marcus Aurelius, double digit viewers. We're 211, Brandy.
Woohoo!
Woo! Everyone's showing up for our last episode of book 3 as one person leaves. It's fine. But we get that little victory with Sokka and Suki and Toph. But then we get to see the 2 other battles that really are determining what goes on in this episode. Azula and Katara and Aang and Ozai. I don't know which one I like better particularly
Yeah.
because I man, I love Katara kicking butt.
It's so quick too.
Yes. The way she just immediately she's running and hiding, waterbending and stuff, and then she's like, chains, water. Oh yes.
Yeah,
And she gets her caught so fast.
she does. And I think that that shows the, mm, the ingenuity that comes with waterbending and
Mhm.
how underestimated it is by the other nations.
Mhm.
And so again,
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, well, of course, Katara isn't a threat, and it wasn't so long ago that they battled in Ba Sing Se, and
True.
Azula knows what Katara is capable of, but either Azula isn't thinking clearly, which she isn't, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point. This outcome was never in Azula's head. She didn't
No
fear
way.
this at all.
And the way that it happens where she's like fully encased in ice.
Mhm,
Azula, for the most part, hasn't really left the Fire Nation much, other than when she was chasing after Zuko, from what we can tell. And so her experience with waterbenders has to be somewhat limited.
mhm.
And to have that kind of a jarring experience where you're like completely frozen in ice, that I imagine that would even add to the unhinged brain scramble that she's dealing with right now. Now, I do have a question for you
Mhm.
to know if I'm a normal kid or not, which I already know the answer to that. But still, when she's frozen, did you try to hold your breath for that entire time as a kid?
No.
See, I was obsessed with that, the realism of shows to see if I could hold my breath for that long. I did it when Zuko was trapped under the ice in the first book
Mhm.
in the Siege of the North. Couldn't do it. This one though, and I still did it subconsciously while I was watching this today. I was like, okay, I can do this.
That's amazing.
It adds. There you go. Yeah, you must hold your breath, otherwise you might die. Exactly. Finding Nemo must have been a heck of a trail for Kate. Marcus Aurelius and Bug himself to Finding
Not
Nemo.
them sharing one brain cell. No.
Bugus is too fast. His little tiny hands. Oh my gosh, it hurts to laugh. You
No,
are so great.
I try to do that in some movies when I think to do it, but, um, No, I don't. I'm
Well,
pretty
I'll say
bad.
it's a manageable battle from my
Oh, good.
unhealthy body
Oh, good.
viewpoint.
I'm glad there's that level of realism.
Yes, I appreciate it. I also like, it's all fun and games. "Oh, I'm gonna hold my breath and stuff," and then then they just go full on, "We're gonna have her have a mental breakdown in a kid show
Mhm.
in front of everyone." This still her screams, the voice acting, like, the her voice actress must have had some kind of trauma she tapped into, or she's just that good, because that was, like, the most guttural,
Yeah.
"Yeah" scream.
Mhm.
It's a kid show.
It's a kid show.
It's a
But
kid show.
for Azula, she just lost everything.
Oh, yeah.
And she whatever tiny little piece of thread she had left is
Mhm,
gone now, and
mhm. And she
it
did
it's
it to
just
herself mostly. I think she has that realization of, "I should have won this. Why didn't I win this?" Like, in her mind, she's still on top, so why did she lose? And
mhm.
you could do a whole like, I need to know any psychology majors out there who could do a full
There's a
thesis.
video out there that's, like, the psychology of Azula.
Oh,
Um,
that'd be a dark pit to look in.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Whoo!
it's a long one, but it's out there.
Okay.
And I think, like, I've always thought that Azula always knew when she couldn't win a battle, and so she would bring in these other people. Like, she brought in the Dai Li, she brought in Mei and Ty Lee, she was always really, aware of that. And
Mhm.
then through the course of this battle, she lost that, and she just didn't know when to quit, when to give up, when to retreat and come back stronger. And that's what did her in. Like
Yep,
like
completely.
person like yeah, like that was the edge that Azula had throughout all of season 2 and part of season 3. When they were at Sozin's Comet, she knew that she couldn't defeat Sokka, Toph, and Aang, so she did something else. She baited them. She
Mhm.
and once, you know, the firebending was back on, she didn't try and fight them. She just ran
Yep.
off because she knew that she would lose.
Mhm.
And so, throughout like her slip of losing everybody that she cared about and then not being able to trust anyone, I think she also like lost trust in herself of knowing when to quit. And so she was just
Mhm.
like, "You know what? I'm I'm the most powerful firebender," and she just went for it. Uh,
Carefree Azula in the worst
yep,
way possible.
yeah, and
Oh, I just realized the video was sent by Rapunzel. I forgot, but thank you for sending it again.
yep.
Oh gosh, yeah. The downfall of Azula. I I think I enjoyed it more as a kid because I'm like, yeah, you took her out. Let's go. And I didn't really give a hoot about her mental health. And now I'm just like, oh gosh. I don't know if I should be cheering this or be sad.
I think
Gives
it's
me
I,
complicated feels.
I think it's really sad, and I think there's also like a debate between like, oh, does Azula deserve a redemption arc, kind of like how Zuko got his. And I think that there's like good arguments um, on both sides of no, she doesn't, and yes, she does. And like Bugus just said, she's 14. and
14.
and I think that Azula again, like she loved her country and she wanted to do everything that she could to, you know, she fully believed in the war and that they were spreading like the Fire Nation wealth to
Mhm.
everyone else. And she like believed that lie. And, you know, I think that in my mind, Azula is kind of how I picture not Ozai, how I picture Iroh when he was a general in the war. Very proud of his
Oh.
nation, thought that, the war
Mm.
was a way to, honor, those that came before him, and that the war generally was very good, and that it just took cracking a couple of eggs to get there.
Mm.
And, bless you.
Thank you.
I'm
trying to hold it in.
And I think that that's what Azula believes in. And, is she a great person? No. But yeah. Video sent and posted and tagged and messaged and tweeted. Look forgetting to watch it this time.
I'll tell you what, I will watch it tomorrow morning at work, because I like to keep my coworkers on their toes if any of them come into the weather center. Some days I'm listening to, like, sea shanties, and some days I'm listening to John Oliver talk about train derailments. Who knows anymore?
You know
But
what we could do?
this one.
You know what
Oh,
we
yeah.
could do? We could watch the video and then have a stream about it.
What do you guys think? Should we do another one? Honestly, the sky's the limit now that we finished up with this episode.
I know.
We could do analyses of analyses.
We'll start it over again.
Let's see what we caught on our next rewatch. Buggins says, I kind of see if as she was young and was just listening to everything her father said. Think about it from the US side of things. Many kids listen to their parents' political views and they grow up. Yeah, and change their views. Exactly. Yep. Rapunzel's raising their hand, and Azula just fell under that path. It's true. You find your own way, like Zuko did. Through your own life experiences, it shapes what your views are of the world. So if her world has been her father in that palace, her worldview is going to be theirs.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Father Lord, he's about to get whipped. I love this battle sequence from here out is probably one of my favorite battles of the entire show, purely because of the whole
yeah.
That, and the fact that they got it animated from multiple angles, where he's just coming and he's gonna like cut his head off. It looks like so smooth. So smooth. This battle. Now, I do need to know for you, Aang getting his his abilities back, his the Avatar state back from a rock. Anticlimactic, good enough. What were you feeling?
I feel that the older I get, the more I think about that instance of like, man, if I could just have something hit me right there,
all my problems would be solved.
My back. I think that again, this episode is so jam-packed of everything. And if it didn't happen this way, we would have been like, because let's be honest, we all wanted to see Ozai and an Avatar state Aang.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, is the rock gimmicky? Shouldn't have happened another way? Could he meditated out of it? Who knows? Like, I think even in the beginning of the season, Aang's no, it's not the beginning of the season. It's right before the Day of Black Sun. Aang is like, I can't go into the Avatar state because Azula blocked whatever chakra it is. And so, like, that, like, it was something physical that caused that block. And so, why not something physical be what that causes its unblock?
True.
So,
yeah.
That was a great sentence, by the way. Unblock.
Yeah. Now, as a kid, I was like, he would have broken his spine. And as an adult, I'm like, he might have broken his spine. But I do like the kind of shove, the forced back into the avatar state. Because sometimes, yeah, the answer can't just be found in meditations. If you have to take a leap, you have to take
Mhm.
a jump, and The Rock did that for him. Also, I've seen a meme, I couldn't find it again, but the meme of someone walking into the chiropractor and the chiropractor being like, "Okay, what do you want?" And they're like, "Okay, so you know that scene in Sozin's Comet when Aang gets his chakra
Yeah.
unblocked and, then goes into the avatar state? That." And then the look of the chiropractor is just
What?
I use that and crack me like a glow stick. Those are my 2 go-tos when I stop by the chiropractor's office. Uh, so, but yeah, this is the battle we all wanted. This is the battle we all knew we were gonna get.
Mhm.
And Aang doesn't
And
disappoint.
no, he doesn't. And like Ozai again, like Aim loses the first half, and then you know this half, like Ozai just he cannot get anything. Like he's just full on retreating, and
Oh, yeah.
it, it's like I wonder how much of the Avatar state the Fire Lord understood, because like they have reports of um everything that happened in the North Pole. And there's not really a whole lot of Avatar state that like the Fire Nation army faces that I can really
Yeah.
remember.
And
And plus,
usually he's just using his airbending or waterbending in that instance.
mhm. Well, I don't know. Time for a rewatch. Um,
I mean, to be fair, it has been like 2 or 3 years, so
it has. Um, but also like it's been 100 years since the Avatar has been around. So, like, this idea of the Fire Nation kind of like losing track and understanding of like what the Avatar state is,
yeah.
I think makes a lot of sense because even like their fire sages, um, like you learn in like the Winter Solstice that like they used to like hold out for the next Avatar, and then once they didn't come around, they were just like, all right, well, our loyalties are to the Fire Lord. And so like even like their like code of like what a fire sage is changes. So then why not their understanding of how powerful and like even the Fire Lord's advisors at this point like don't even really know what the avatar is because
Mhm.
for 100 years or maybe just within like the past 70 years the avatar has kind of just been this legend like
True.
ooh,
Yeah, this
spooky
I want
scary.
I wanted to bring this up, no, because of what you were talking about. They're like, he's just been kind of this legend. They know reports of like what he's been doing. Ozai in this instance, I think he thinks he just won.
Yeah.
Do you think he understands why he hasn't had the Avatar's power unleashed upon him yet? Or does he
I
just
don't
take that in stride?
I don't think so.
Because the way I saw it when watching it was like, okay, he thinks, maybe Azula did screw him up good enough. Like,
Mhm.
great. And then he defeats himself.
He really does.
That that is so poetic in that, yeah, Aang might have lost completely if he hadn't have had that little rock in the back of his spine, which Beetlebug, by the way, says could use one of those on my exoskeleton. Yeah, and that just adds another layer of poetics to this whole thing of you beat yourself, dude.
And he really did. Again, going back to when Zuko was 13. If he had
Mhm.
just, I'm not saying killed Zuko, but like just throw him in a
Oh,
prison.
you went in the opposite direction. I thought you were gonna be like, if he had just forgiven Zuko.
Oh, no. Listen, Ozai
No.
doesn't know how to forgive. No, 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 no. That was never even a realm of possibility. No, no, no. Just like throw him in a prison. Or you know, maybe like teach him a lesson, but don't banish. I don't know. There's no good way to. But
If it had
Ozai,
been any other
Ozai
way.
really is his undoing.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. And the fact that he is retreating so fast I think he realizes that he messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you don't, like, with, oh gosh, what's his name? Something the Conqueror. Shin the Conqueror?
Chin
Was
the
it?
Conqueror. Yep.
Shin the Conqueror. Like, I don't think he felt he was going to lose at any point. He was very stubborn. He was just like, I'm standing my ground. Whereas Ozai's like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
And I think that shows what a pansy Ozai really is.
Yep. He's not the strongest. He wouldn't have been any kind of a problem for Aang to handle, I don't think, if there wasn't for the comet.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been a powerful firebender, but 1v4, bro. So this really was his time to shine, and he blew it.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
And in the most, like, confusing way possible for him. Because, like, you're going up against the Avatar. He could totally take you down. He locks your arms and grabs your chest.
He's like, what's
Like, that look on his face is, why are you touching me?
bro, just end it here.
It's like, if you would have killed me, it would have been less awkward, dude.
Yeah. I love how serious Aang is in this moment, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's ready. He's like, the lion turtle told me I would die if I wasn't this. I was like, what's a lion turtle? The complete role reversal, though, from the start of the battle, where you saw Ozai, he was so serious, and Aang's just like, to now, say goodbye. I love it. Now, the final really climax for this is when we get Aang taking on the energy bending of Ozai. Yeah, how dare you touch me, peasant? Ozai, probably. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. But also this time, his mouth is open. He's just like, what? What is that? Like, this whole thing is his mental undoing, I feel. This wasn't in the reports. What?
Yeah. I think in this moment, he's like, I really should have listened to Iroh's spiritual goop.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. And we get another Gillette commercial.
We sure do.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. This scene as a kid was way more powerful than if he had just killed him or like buried him alive or made him fall off a cliff.
Yeah, because again, like, we're in like the last minutes of the show, and then they just drop, like another form of bending. Like, still just like so much lore within the universe. And I think even like having the voiceover of the lion turtle explaining what's going on and kind of like going back to when the lion turtle was talking to Aang and was like, before bending, we bend into energy within ourselves. And you're just like,
Yeah, the music is like ha hoo ha he hoo
Yeah.
hoo he like
yeah. And then this very ominous like, but your spirit has to be strong too, otherwise you will be destroyed. And I think so many times throughout, well, I think even Yen Chen, when he's talking to Yen Chen in a previous episode, she's like, you're a gentle spirit. And so you're just like, oh no, like it took the Avatar state for them to kind of reach this point, because like Ozai was defeated and there was going to be like this final blow, and Aang was able to like come out of the Avatar state and then like, drop his bending. And so it took the Avatar state to get here, and obviously like Aang's spirit was able to overcome the Avatar state, but who knows what Ozai's spirit, and like even like it comes down to like one like little eye beam, and you're just like, oh no.
They found a way to make us panic, even after Aang was winning this fight, and he got him in the perfect position, and you're like, he's gonna get him, and then you're like, no. But and it does. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna, it does. We're so Midwestern, but it does emphasize, don't confuse gentle with weak, or caring and kind with weak, because it's not. They're definitely separate categories, and Aang happens to have strength and is a gentle spirit.
And I think why this moment you really don't know which way it's going to go is because in this battle, you've seen both of them win or get very close to
Mhm.
winning. And so even though like we don't understand a whole lot about, energy bending and the whole like nuts and bolts of it, but you know that they're actually pretty evenly matched.
Mhm.
And so I think that that's why this moment you're like, you really don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's believable that Aang could lose.
Mhm.
Like, all of a sudden, book 4,
Yeah.
surprise. Yeah. No, it's sometimes like hard for me to watch finales of shows when they're building up to this big battle because you're like, the good guys are gonna win, blah, 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 blah. And this, they made it believable, probably because I was a kid, but they made it believable that he could lose. So
Mhm.
the strength of writing shows, even though it was mostly a fight-based episode, you can still have good dialogue. Which also Aang at the end just standing up and being like, "I took your bending away."
Yeah.
Like, the music swells, the da 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 da, like, so that sounded a little bit more like Little House on the Prairie, but still, you know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
He's still himself, and then Momo, if I'm not mistaken, lands on him,
Mhm.
and you're just
Mm.
like, "Yeah,
Well, that
he's
and,
still
like
Aang."
like, Aang, like, then turns around and, like, puts the fire out in the forest.
Yeah, the
Yeah, and you like, he's like, "Alright, let's just settle down here."
Katie got that perfect pitch. Katie has the voice for singing alone in the car, and nothing else. Trust me on that. I get hours of practice every day and I'm still garbage. But yeah, we get to see the calming end. I couldn't find the clip, but when Suki's like, "Is he? Did you?" And he's like, "I'm still alive." She's like,
She's like, "Ew." And then Aang explains what happens, and Sokka and Toph just start roasting him.
"Yes." Not
Like,
they don't even care.
they don't. How embarrassing is it to not only be defeated, have your firebending taken away, but then also just to be roasted by teenagers?
Loves for Ozai, that's probably a fate worse than death.
Mhm. Yeah. He's like, "Ah, really?"
He seems really salty he was still alive, though.
Yeah. He's like, "You
Mhm.
should've just killed me."
Literally, I think he would have preferred the martyr way of going. Where
Mhm.
it's like,
Yeah.
I could still inspire my people. It's like, nah, nah, I'm gonna make sure everyone knows you you lost to a kid,
You're a
and the kid
loser.
beat you without killing you. Like, how weak are you? It's the way to do it.
Mm. Yeah.
But we do get to see that resolution. You take out the Fire Lord. Hooray! But the episode isn't over. We
No.
still have some loose ends to tie up.
Mhm.
And I appreciate they take the time to do that. And even for characters who aren't necessarily the main character. When
Mhm.
everyone comes back together and they're in the Fire Nation Palace, we get to see Ty Lee's story
Mhm.
tied up. And what I thought was May's story tied up, but according to some comics, they don't get married. So who knows? I'm so bitter about that. I still think Zuko and May need to be they end up together in the end. But it is nice to see Ty Lee be so happy. Look at her.
Wow.
And it goes back to the whole she was one of a matching set, all of her
Mhm.
sisters looking alike and everything. And now she's voluntarily choosing to do that.
Well, I think that, like, yes, the Kyosho warriors all look alike,
Mhm.
but I think that they understand, like, their own strengths and weaknesses, and that's
Mhm.
what kinda their makes them individuals.
Exactly. They're a collective of individuals.
Mhm.
That seems to be Tylee's vibe. So, and I just love that they met in prison. It's like we're prison besties. Oh, we
Yeah.
carved the Kyoshi warriors into the wall. I drew this little fan graffiti. It was
I
amazing.
kinda like to think that, like, somebody showed up to, like, "Okay, like, you're no longer prisoners," and Ty Lee was just kinda like, "Oh, the slumber party's over?"
Yes, it's like, I was just having fun. We were gonna make a cook and we were gonna have s'mores later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could so see her being upset that the party was broken up, and then they're like, "Well, you could just still come with us." She's like, "Yes!" Oh, but it's good to see that one tied up, and I think for me, this could just be me being sentimental and everything, but to see Aang and Zuko, oh my gosh, this is such a low resolution photo. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was the only one I could find. But to see them talk and be like, we did it. Yeah. Now we're friends. Yeah. It's like
Mhm.
they really are friends. And that just gives me a happy feeling in my heart. Might also be indigestion. I ate a lot of Amish noodles for dinner, but it gives me a very happy feeling. Um, I love this behind the scenes interaction between them. Like they're both
Yeah.
about to step into a whole new world.
That and, like, it you very much get, like, the sense of it's not over. Like, there's still a lot of work ahead,
Mhm.
but, like, they've all grown so much as people and, have matured a lot that they know that, like, it's gonna work out,
Mhm.
and, they did it together, so they'll do it together again.
Mhm. Yep. They beat the battle, and anything else that comes after it, they know that they're superior and they can
Mhm.
handle it, sort of a
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's such a and Zuko's speech at the end. I think it's very fitting that Zuko has the chance to be Fire Lord,
Mhm.
and his redemption arc is completed. Aang's arc as stopping this war has been completed. All of the loose ends are just tied up, except for one. I forgot the scene happened where Zuko went to go and see Ozai.
Mhm.
And it's like, what happened to my mother? Like that happened. I was like, what? Is this edited in? I had to go back and be like, this is actually a part of the show. I completely blanked.
Yeah. No, I remember that I remember watching that scene for the first time and, like, the show ends, and I just turned to my sister and I'm like, "But Zuko's mom!" And she's like, "Yeah, I know."
I
And
am
I just remember spending, like, the next, like, I wanna say year, maybe even years, just periodically Googling Avatar season 4 and what happened to
oh.
Zuko's mom, because I was just like, it's not complete.
Mm-mm.
And then we eventually get a comic and,
Mhm.
we get some answers. But
Yep.
it's not the same if it happened in, like,
Mhm.
the show.
I
And I
need the
know
voice
that
actors with it.
yeah, and I think that a lot of the writers were hoping for a season 4, and so they were just kinda, like,
Oh.
leaving these breadcrumbs just in
Ah.
case. But I think the creators were really, like, set and, it's just 3 seasons. 3 seasons, that's
Mhm.
it.
Yep. That's kinda like what they did with DuckTales too, the reboot, is they
Mhm,
were gonna spend a season on Dewey, Louie, and then Huey, and then they were gonna do Webby as a 4th season, and then they found out they were being cut, and so they had to put Huey and Webby in together. Um, and that kind of was like, poo. But it was still good to get that story. And yeah, it wasn't great. At least I can ignore the comics. True. What I would like to see, I don't know if anyone else would like to see this. Avatar Studios is a thing. We know that they're creating content and everything. What if they did like rewrite the comics, just say, okay, that's not canon, particularly like play a little bit with it and give us that story, even if it's just a mini series.
I don't know if they necessarily have to give the story, but I think just seeing Ursa in the Fire Nation, in, like, the palace with Zuko being Fire Lord, and like she's just there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
That'd be nice.
would be enough.
Yeah, we don't need much as a fandom. We just need this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how the fandom was reacting to the end of this episode too. Is like, we don't need much, but you're gonna make them kiss. I mean, that's how I was. Which we'll get to in a second because I do have the screen grab for that. But I'm trying to find. Where'd you go, friend? Where'd you go? My computer's freaking out on me right now. The scene where Sokka is drawing it, and everyone's so relaxed, and you have Aang playing with Momo, and Iroh's playing his horn, and Toph is literally like, yeah, I can just close my eyes and my feet and just relax. It's good to see them all happy.
The image is showing up for me. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Also, Buggus wants to know why Brandy doesn't have a job title in your name card. Justice for Brandy.
I'm like Madonna.
Yes.
One name.
One and only Brandy. I stand by that.
That's it.
It is against McDonald's policy. LOL. Oh gosh. But yeah, this scene shows them relaxed, and it also kind of gives you a little bit of that lightheartedness back after a very intense,
Well, that and like
emotional ride.
Avatar is always the series has always been able to strike like that perfect balance of very serious and humor. And we've had a lot of seriousness.
Yeah.
And so just to like see, maybe this is like a week afterwards or whatever, like they just get together and they're all very happy, and it's just lighthearted, and it's just at least they can carve out this little bit.
And they get to carve it into paper because Sokka's decided to make a drawing of them together.
Why
I
did
love
you
this
draw
one.
me firebending? I thought it would be more interesting.
Why do I have Momo's ears? They're your hair loopies. And Toph is just... Oh my gosh. I don't know what makes me happier, that or the fact that Iroh's just like, I'm very happy and content.
Hey, I'm not that fat anymore. I've really slimmed down.
Yes. And then you just get the content smile on Aang's face, which Aang smiles a lot in this show and everything. This, I feel like, is one of the first peaceful smiles he has. There's different smiles. There's happy. There's like trick smiles when you're trying to hide your emotions. And then there's genuine ones. And somehow they managed to animate that emotion in. Also, Buggus has a comment. So, Katie's actually her last name and meteorologist is her first, and I thought naming your kid Speed Racer was bad. My parents are like, we know what you're going to be when you grow up. We might as well. But yes, we get the final scene that is just beautiful. I'm so glad, though, that they did the hug and then the kiss. Like, because I've always liked that. I just haven't put like words to it, but I do like that it shows we're friends first, and then we can go into this new realm, solidifying a solid base before going up. Just like the end card, it's just pans up, beautiful shot.
It feels very complete. Like, I know a lot of people wanted a season 4 and, Sokka to go find his space sword and Zuko to find his mom and I don't know, whatever Aang would get up to, like a lot of people wanted it. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted it too.
Yeah.
As more time has gone on, I've just been like, you know what? No. That was it. There didn't need to be more.
It ended perfectly. And you know what? You don't need a series 4. You can always just have one-off episodes. And that'll help with tell stories through time. I think they still could show what happened after this. They could go find a space where they could find his mom and bring back the original voice cast, because there's they're clearly into it. They're going to Comic-Cons representing the characters, so
Mhm.
why not bring them back? And they know people will watch.
Yep.
But that's it. Almost 3 years later, we did it.
What? Woo, what a what a
It
ride!
feels weird.
I
Yeah.
know. I feel like a part of me is gone now.
Just what was that feeling?
I'm gonna have so much free time.
Yeah, exactly. A whole extra hour and a half to our lives. Louise Expo says, "Have you caught up with the tea time with Toph?" I have not. I need to. We ain't bringing back Iroh Rip. I know, but the second voice actor who took over for him might come back. He still loves Iroh, so you never know. All right, Brandy, shall we dive into our final theories?
Yes, let's go.
Well, I pray my computer doesn't crash while I bring up all the pictures.
I'll uh I'll start with the first one here. Toph defeats the Fire Nation.
Huh?
No.
Huh?
So
What?
what? um so like Aang's in the fire. Aang's in the fire. Whew. Aang is in the Avatar state. And he's getting
Mm,
ready to deliver the final blow and take Ozai's life. And then he
okay.
just gives up. And he's like, no, Aang comes back. He takes control. And he turns around. And in that moment, Ozai's getting ready to strike again. But we go into how Toph sees through earthbending. I can't remember what it's called. What is it called?
Oh
It's
yeah,
called
like the vibration sense
yeah. The
thing.
vibration sense thing. And that's how Aang knows to turn around and block Ozai before he can fully develop the flame and, gets him into the position to energy bend. That wouldn't have happened if Toph didn't teach Aang earthbending.
Man.
It's the sole reason.
That yeah,
Yep.
that
The greatest enemy of the Fire Nation wasn't the 12-year-old everyone thought it was. It was the 12-year-old blind girl.
the insult to injury just keeps piling up for Ozai at this point. Oh my gosh. Accepted. Fully accepted. Yeah.
Yep.
That's such an important part I completely glossed over. Is that yeah,
Mhm.
he senses that movement. That's so cool.
Yep. So
Sweet.
there we go.
Any other theories?
Yeah. So I kind of meant to talk about this earlier, but I don't know what it is, but literally the majority of because I get a lot of Avatar content on my feeds, they've all been related to the finale for this past week, and I'm like, I don't know why.
Oh,
But I
the
saw
internet
another
knows.
apparently I saw another really interesting post about how the final fight between Ozai and Aang isn't only their fight, but it's also an internal fight between Aang and the Avatar state. And you can kind of
Ooh.
see that represented in the poster and the DVD cover of season 3, where it's half.
Yes.
And so Ozai's in the back, and so you're like, okay, this is the main battle, but there's also this internal battle. And that kind of shows again how much Aang has grown in being the Avatar and accepting that. And
Mhm.
you know, which leads into the overarching fan theory that we're getting ready to dive into.
Ooh.
So mastering the Avatar state happens when the current Avatar's spirit becomes stronger than the Avatar state itself. Because
Ooh.
once Aang comes out of the Avatar spirit and he um deals with Ozai. He then turns around, and the way that he stops like the forest from burning is his eyes flash white and go back to normal, which shows that he's mastered the avatar state. And then he's able to tap into the avatars before him and use their powers, but still remain completely himself and remain in control.
Oh, that's cool.
So Ain's spirit is now finally stronger than the avatar state itself.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love that they tie that into the DVD cover, whether it's
Mhm.
intentional or otherwise. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they have that split.
Because like this whole the past several episodes have just been, oh, what is Aang going to do? Is he going to kill the Fire Lord? And even I think it's the third episode. It starts off with Zuko and Katara on Appa, and Katara's like, hey, like, don't worry, like, we'll take Azula together and it'll be fine. And Zuko's like, I'm not worried about us. I'm worried about Aang. And if he does come back, will he be able to do what's necessary? Because in Zuko's mind, that's the only way that this will end.
Yeah. No, that's very important thing to. Yeah. And also wondering, like, also, will it change Aang? Is what I would be worried about. Is like, is this gonna break a part of him? Like, is he gonna be okay after this? Oh yeah, no, he's even better than normal. He got it.
Yep.
Also, Rapunzel has a theory. That's why we needed a teacher that knew how to wait and listen. It was actually Boomy that defeated the Fire Nation. Aang wouldn't have picked off if Boomy hadn't have told him that.
All right, second stamp.
Yeah. This is a it's like an onion. Only we're adding layers. It's like it's Toph and then it's Boomy and then
Yep.
Oh, good. All right.
All right.
Anything
One
else?
more.
Last theory, guys.
Last theory. Again, it's about the Avatar state. We learn in Legends of Korra the spirit that kind of causes the Avatar. And its name is Rava. And so the Avatar state isn't only the past avatars taking control of the current avatar, it's Rava taking control. And in this moment, realizing that the person who is the avatar and holding the Rava spirit isn't strong enough to deal with it on their own. And so Rava completely takes over. And so that explains why Aang is so out of control and maybe doesn't remember a lot of when he's in the avatar state.
That actually would also explain if he had memory block from when he was in the avatar state when he's talking with Yang Chen. He's like, yeah,
I've never certainly taken
power to kill a life.
Yeah, to take a life. Cuts in between every single time he's taken a life in the avatar state. It's because it wasn't him, it was Rava, guys. Please.
I accept that.
And so again, kind of building off of the other theory, they master the avatar state when their spirit becomes stronger than Rava in them.
Oh, I like that. Girl, you come up with the best theories. Oh gosh, yeah. I think having to bend Ozai's power and energy, like that, really did solidify. This is who I am. This is my power. This is, and then that's what finally got
that,
him
and like this is the kind of avatar that I'm going to be. Like he listened to several other avatars who were fully realized and knew who their identities were. And he's kind of felt like this pressure to live up to those. And so now he's like, I don't have to do everything that they did. I can find my own path. And I think even that kind of, mirrors Zuko in a lot of what Iroh was saying, that, you can choose your own path. You can find your own path to restore your honor and everything. And so
Yeah, perfect. Also, Buggus says it was actually Momo that won the war. I have no backing for this, but I just firmly believe it in my heart and soul. If Buggus decrees it, it must be true.
All right, null and void all other theories. Momo
All other theories.
defeated the Fire Nation.
Yay. Oh gosh. Well, those theories all approved, all adding to our context for these episodes. And now I can't wait to watch it again with those in mind. But also, there's one thing I forgot to mention, which it's not really a theory or anything. It's just kind of nice that we get to see the parallels between the Fire Lord and the Avatar again.
Friends for life.
Yes, friendships that transcend lifetimes, especially considering that this dude was flipping nutty. But it's like it's fine. We can look past that. But yes, so there's a lot of art, there's a lot of fan art, there are also memes. I'll just go in the order that they popped up. There's no method to this madness. This one actually looks like it was a print, which gives me
It
hope that I
does.
can find it at a Comic-Con. So yeah, I'd buy this in a heartbeat. I don't know where Iroh is. He's probably the one taking the picture. He's like, "Hey guys, everyone pose."
Get a pic for the gram.
Yeah, we're gonna send this to Gran. Yeah, I do love those old guys, just kicking butt, taking names, and refusing to be a part of the problem and rather the solution. Speaking of them, there's this meme that's like, Booby, I can explain. You got a bending power up? My bending stays the same. Paku, the same. My bending gets weaker during Sozin's Comet. Piandao, you guys get bending? That one just made me chuckle, so I had to share it. Back to the fan art. Okay, we'll go with these ones because they're just too cool. Lego Agni Kai.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Let's
so cool.
go.
That is just so cool. They even have like the buildings on fire and the burnt bricks. Like whoever made that is just too cool. And it didn't even stop at that. People have been making these Lego Agni Kais apparently just all over the place. And I didn't know. So now I have something new to play with when I bring out the Lego sets from our basement. If I have enough translucent blue and orange. There we go. Back to the drawings. A lot of people focused on the Agni Kai, which understandable. It's really cool and it's a great use of color, but I love the integration of the dragons.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, because there was a ride at Universal Studios Orlando, Florida in the Harry Potter section called Dueling Dragons. And it was dope. And this is pretty much exactly it. The two rides intertwined between each other and they were blue and red. It's so cool. And Beetlebug also says, now I need to know what AI would think an Agni Kai would look like. I need to know what AI would think you look like, Buggus.
Hold on.
Oh gosh, this could go so many ways.
Continue on.
Okay, then. While we're looking that up, there's also this really cool. I would have this as a metallic poster. There we go, full glory. The lightning bending versus Aang in full Avatar state. The color choices, everything is just perfect. So if I find this in an artist's alley, my wallet doesn't stand a chance. We cannot look upon Bug Jesus. It is blasphemous to do so. I don't know, Buggus, what do you think? Can we get human interpretations of your ethereal view or being? Can it just be a bug covered in eyes? Biblically accurate, Buggus. Here's another one that I just thought was very sweet. It was all of them together posing with the drawing. Like, I could see them hiring an actual artist, being like, yeah, no, can you come and take a drawing of us? And then Sokka's like, wait, I want mine included.
They
artist
get the
rendering
guy that did the art from Kyoshi Island where they're like, oh, there's one more.
Yeah. The dude who was like so fast. Oh, yes. So that one was cute. gosh, I just have so many. This meme, I flippin' love it. It's like the lowest resolution possible, but it's glorious. For anyone who hasn't seen the original meme, it's also brilliant. Let me see. Oops, I almost closed out of this window. That would have been bad. Okay, we still have like a few more to go. Firelord Ozai, just a really cool fan art of him. He doesn't get a lot of fan art just because we don't see him all that much, but I could see some people liking liking his vibe. Rapunzel memes are best in low res. I agree. It's like watching VHS tapes. There's just something staticky and homey about it. I think I showed this one last week. I might have forgotten to, so I'll just show it again. Just chillaxed Melon Lord Toph.
Oh, I don't think you showed that one.
Oh, good. So yeah, Melon Lord Toph. And the fact that all of them have like creepy eyes carved into them and stuff. She took her role very seriously. Flipping through the rest of them. Oh, this one looks really dope. We got 2, 3 more. This one's sick. humanforscale.com has it. The Phoenix wing with the like that is so cool. Also, good point, Buggus. Who carved the melons? If Toph can't, I wouldn't give Toph a knife. So,
Sokka did.
A very melancholy picture. But yeah, Sokka definitely carved that. But this, out of all of them, I get this as a print for sure. And then we have our lovely, we have our group photo, our group hug.
Aww.
It makes my heart happy, so I included it. And then if you're really looking for artistry, there's 2 that stood out to me that were really cool. One was Iroh and his dragon fire.
Ooh.
I thought that looked really cool. And it's so simple, too. Not everything has to be all filled in with amazing backgrounds. You can have basic drawings and they look dope, but at the same time, this.
Oh,
so
that's the cover of a board game.
Yep. It's like it goes so hard. Why does it go so hard? And it's so I like having them at his back and stuff, and just man, I want that as a print too. But there's some great fan art. This is all I could reasonably fit onto my computer desktop without it trying to implode. So go and find more if you would like, because it's pretty cool.
Okay, hold on. So I finally got the AI to do what I wanted it to. And we have some contenders, okay?
Okay. Rapunzel also says OBL group hug. Yes. I think it's only fitting that we finish the stream with a Buggus AI rendering.
So we have this one. Hold on. Let me send them to you real fast. We have this one. We have this one. And then I tried another prompt. And this one I think is the real winner.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm gonna end up having to I'm gonna have some explaining to do again. Let me see. Okay, everyone. Glad I can be a continued point of joy for all. You absolutely are, Buggus. So the first one, I don't know if I should be disturbed by the hairy wings.
I don't know. I think it just happened, you know?
That I mean, it works. You get the point across. This one's a little bit more in your face about it.
That one really hit a nail, you know?
Someone would probably make this as a 3D print, like a cursed 3D print. I do miss my old pal Bogus. Bogus is off getting the locusts ready. Or the cicadas. That's what Buggus is doing. He's getting that super brood ready. Corey said, LOL. I need a 3D print of the second one. You know, if I can get it ingested into my computer, by all means. Yeah, I agree, Brandy. This is the winner.
That's it. There we go.
Oh, Buggus, feel free to take that and run with it.
Oh, this is very interesting. So I also did an Agni Kai.
Oh.
And
Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. That actually looks pretty dope. They even have Aang fighting it?
yeah, that's why I was like,
And Zuko has the blue flames? And they're both avatars?
yeah, you know, like things just are happening.
You know? It got if you're looking at it and just like, and that's it. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. The next few that you sent, ooh. Oh. Wow. Okay, so it definitely it understands that it's an orange versus
Yeah.
blue thing. Let's see. Pull that one up. This one's more like traditional realism.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's getting
They
like,
are awfully close to be running at full speed. They're gonna
I
crack
was
heads.
say that one's getting like a little more like Persia or something. Like it's
yeah. And then there's the more animated one. This I can see it's like twin brothers who are fighting for the throne.
mm-hmm. But I like the people in the background.
Oh yeah.
Like we could just, you know, write a whole new series just off of this image alone.
I'm down with that. Oh gosh, let's see. New profile picture. Yes. They're both avatars. What is your AI tool? Nerdy Viking is asking.
I was using Copilot by Beam. That's what I was using.
I've been trying to use Copilot, but it says, "Oh, we're sorry, we couldn't generate an image." I'm like, I'm not asking you for much. I'm just asking you for a. Why can't you show me a battle scene? Like,
We've been using it at work, and I've been writing AI prompts for weeks, so I'm very proficient at it now.
Nice. Apparently, Rapunzel and I agree. We need a Buggus versus Bogus Agni Kai.
I just closed it out, guys. Come on. Hold on.
Not a real one, just pretend for pick reasons. Yeah, I think Buggus and Bogus, they seem to jive pretty well. So they probably wouldn't have to Agni Kai each other.
Let's see here. What I love is that it has no context for who these people are.
Yeah, two bug deities battling. Yeah, the computer's probably just like, and are you okay? You good there, friend? Or it's actually a person behind the scenes who gets like the logs and it's like, what the heck is going on with this person?
Going on?
What are they thinking? Oh, let's see.
It's thinking. It hasn't denied it yet.
Oh, that's good.
What I love is that it's like, I'll try to create that. And you're like, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna get two bugs in the yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue beetles. Yeah, the computer is gonna make you do a recaptcha. It probably thinks you're a computer too. Skynet's like, we'll just leave these folks alone.
What is very interesting is that it does kind of get that they're gods.
Oh.
Hold on. I'll send this in.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Wow, I'm seeing a very similar trend between the two. Everyone meet the Agni Kai between our buggy saviors. This one went very Egyptian.
I like how the first one, they don't have 2 legs, they have a leg and a tail.
Wait a second. Oh, wow. Yeah, it definitely has a shtick it's sticking to. Oh, wow. Even the ones you just sent, they're very similar.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. We're gonna take. Is that the right one? Yeah. They look so happy.
They do, but that's because they're best friends. Like, they're just fighting
Aw.
over the last Tostino's pizza roll. That's
Yeah.
it.
There's something malicious there. This one looks more like I don't know, Cartoon Network version?
It's kind of Ben 10.
Yeah, Ben 10. It makes though the Egyptian influence true. It's like, oh, bugs, beetles. There we go. Bugus and I are happy friends. Friends. We're happy to hear that too. Oh, but man, what a great way to finish out our stream, Brandy.
Yeah.
We did it. It's in the books. Although we aren't quite done yet, are we?
No.
Because we still have our episodes ranking season 3 and the entirety of the show.
The live action,
The live action.
I assume, is what you're talking about.
Yes, yeah. The entirety of the new show. So we aren't going to be gone just yet, guys. We need those in Funko Pops now. You could. But yes, Brandy, this is the end of our Avatar viewing for tonight. But there's still content to be made. Whether it's good or not, we'll see.
Theories to think of, more buggus and bogus things to create, you know?
Oh, so much
Oh.
variety.
We've built a real cult.
We have. I'm proud of us, Brandy. Order of the Blue
No.
Lotus has become I mean, we could be tax exempt as a religion because we meet every week. We worship the same thing. According to the government, we're doing just fine.
Fantastic.
Buggus loves you. Oh, we love
Yeah.
you too, Buggus. Oh, yeah. Then you'll have to watch Legend of Korra if we talk about it. So it is not the end, but it is an end. Exactly. It isn't goodbye, more of a see you later. Yep, it really is. We'll pop up at random. We still
Yeah.
have the whole live action to talk about. Guys, we can be a religion now. You're welcome. Yeah, we have a deity and everything. Tax exemption. Oh gosh, Brandy, I can't say enough. Thank you so much for putting up with 3 years of chaos.
Well, thank you for 3 years of continuing to go, "Hey, are we streaming tonight?" on whatever day we deem we're streaming.
The casual messages back and forth, it's like, "You good? Yeah. Why not?"
And
Oh,
thanks
there you go.
to all the viewers out there who continue to put
Yes.
up with us for 3 whole years of talking
Mhm.
about Doctor Who and nipples and, other things.
It is incredible for the memes, for all of that. Rapunzel, Louise X Sparrow, Bogus. You have been in our hearts briefly, but you have made a lasting impact. Uh, Time Prophet, the Nerdy Viking. We also have Marcus Aurelius, who's been with us. We have Corey Cochran. Oh my gosh, I'm just scrolling through everything and everyone. We've had Bogus. Have to talk about Bogus in case he comes back and watches the replay. And just everyone who's been watching. Thank you guys. And don't worry, we will be back. The live action premieres like next week. So
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have so many nerd rants, like
it's gonna be great. It'll be unhinged, just like normal.
Yeah.
It honestly felt like yesterday you guys started. 3 years is crazy. Yep, it is. And we still look the same. Good on
Relatively.
us.
Yeah, sunscreen.
Yes, exactly. Gotta stay pale. All right, everyone. Well, we will see you the next time. Until then, stay culty, I guess. Bye, everyone.